Hello, everyone. Welcome to EOE Radio and TV. This is your girl, Miss J,
And your girl, Miss Smiley.
and we are welcome to be back with segment
Yes.
3. Is it segment or episode? It don't
It's,
matter.
it's it's episode three.
Three,
Episode
episode 3
yes.
of A Love Affair.
Yes.
And we are going to tackle our most requested topic, believe it or
Yes.
not,
Yes.
tonight. And guess what that is?
You're gonna have to tell me because I'm always surprised when I come in here with you. I never know what you're going to pop up with.
Listen, this wasn't me. It was like we had like at least 8 people that was like, "Can y'all talk about this and what's y'all's opinion?" Um, Jail relationships.
You had 8 people ask about jail relationships.
8 people want to know about jail relationships. How do you
Okay.
have a relationship with someone in jail? Would you have a relationship with someone in jail? Would you
Okay.
marry someone that is in jail? All these questions about jail relationships. And I actually have someone on the inside that is in prison that is actually going to call in and speak to us and allow us to ask them questions
Oh,
that some
okay.
women would like to know. But before we get into the nitty and gritty, let's do our announcements.
Yes.
So this Sunday, April the 24th, me and Miss Smiley will be attending the Sneakers Ball Tour of Italy that's going down in Columbus, Ohio at the Vault between 3 and 7. And the tickets are sold out. There
Yes.
are
Well,
no more tickets.
a week ago, I was not going. I was not going to be able to attend, but I'm so glad that I freed up my schedule so that I can attend this wonderful event. I'm so excited. We're going to have so much fun, and we're going to be live, right?
Yes, we're gonna go live. We're
Okay.
gonna go live
Let's make sure.
for most part of the show. Yeah, we are going to be live for most part of the sneakers ball. So I'm excited about that. So the announcements that I have that's going on. Do you have anything that's going on?
You know, I don't that I can think of. I'm sure maybe in a few minutes I'll be like, oh, I forgot to tell you that. But no, everything's good. I do know we will not obviously be able to have a full relationship show this Sunday because we will be at the sneakers ball. However, we will resume that. I don't know if it'll be the following week or what have you, but we'll let you guys know about that because we're going to have episode 4, right? Is this series we're
Yes.
going to keep going on, right?
Yeah, we'll have episode 4. So
Okay.
enough of announcements. Let's get into it because people want
Yes.
to know.
Yes.
So jail relationships are so complicated. They're so complex. I think it's different levels to it. So
Yes.
one side of it is, did you know the person before they went to prison?
That's what I was. Yeah, that's
And
my
the other
question.
side is you just met the person while they were incarcerated because you have that one family member that's locked up, and then they got the little homie that ain't getting no phone calls or whatever, and
You said little
your
homie.
girl is there and they like, yo, hook me up, like I just want a pen pal or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the people start conversing and then a relationship forms, you know what I mean? So that's a little something different. So, oh, this topic came up in your life today. Really great
Okay.
timing. So,
Okay.
Asia is what she commented on our last post. She gave
Love
some
it.
really great advice. So, shout out to Miss Asia. Still, we appreciate your support and appreciate you watching. And it's really ironic. So maybe you have some questions. And if you have questions, again, I'm not sure if you were here at the beginning of the show. We actually have someone that is in prison that's been for an extended period of time and will be there for an extended period of time. That is willing to answer our questions and give us some feedback. So, um, my opinion on it is if I was with you and you were incarcerated, I would be by your side. They call it doing a bid. I would do your bid with you and support you. But how long do you stay. Like if that person is going to be incarcerated for like a lifetime. For instance, the R&B singer Monica, her previous boyfriend C Murder was sentenced to life for allegedly. I mean, they convicted him, so I don't know if we need to say allegedly anymore. He was convicted of murdering a 16-year-old named Steve Thomas. And he's been incarcerated since 2009, and she is still riding with him to this day. She's been married and had a child, and can't let go. She's like completely in love with him and still fighting for him. It's 2022. So 2009, 2022, I'm like,
And
I mean, of course,
I agree as far as, there's different circumstances. If you were with somebody and they went in while you're together, and maybe they're going to be, in there for a shorter amount of time. Shorter amount of time is different for everybody. Then yeah, I probably hang in there. I can't lie and say if someone was in there for life, I don't know. And I don't know if I was in prison, let's say for that long, if I would expect someone to just be loyal to me, not necessarily cut ties, but be loyal. I would want them probably to go on with their life because that's not fair for them. So I don't know. I do have a very, very close friend who did meet her husband while he was in prison. She did not know him before. And if I'm not mistaken, they've been married for at least 30 something years now. They're in their 80s at this point. So he's sick. But anyway, but I know that she did meet him in prison, if I'm not mistaken, and she did not know him beforehand. And when he got out, he was not the person that went in. And he was a great person. I love this person to death. So as much as it's not necessarily for me, I would never knock what someone else's choice is. Mm-hmm. But personally, that's something that I would steer away because I know what I need, and I need daily, I need to see you. I need to be with you on the regular. And so for me, probably not, but for someone else, it could work. I'm not saying it couldn't, but it would make me think, why are you messing with someone who's going to be in prison for, life? Or like the Charles Mansons and things like that. People were writing to them. He got married in prison too. Charles Manson did.
Happens a lot. That was another subject. Like, would you marry someone while they were incarcerated? So there's all of these videos online, on TikTok, Facebook, circulating around where people are having video wedding marriages. Like the camera is set up in the prison. The inmate is on the other end, and then these women are full dress wedding gowns. They don't went to David's Bridal or some boutique, done spent money for this dress, and they're standing in front of the camera and they marry this individual. Would that? And to me, again, it just depends on, did you know them prior to how long they're going to be incarcerated, you know what I'm saying, or not? Because we talked about on the first and second shows, to have a solid relationship, you have to go through the 4 stages, right? How can you go through 4 stages of a relationship with someone that's incarcerated that you have never met? That's really hard. Even though you have lots of conversations with this person, but are the conversations real? Because I just personally know, it sounds bad, but I have several family members that are incarcerated, and they be selling people dreams. Like, I love you, I'm gonna be with you when I get out. But you like the 5th girl they done told that to in one day, like, because they don't know, you know what I mean? Like, no, seriously, like,
well, it's hard to know when you're face to face with someone if they're being truthful, and you need that time, which is what we talked about, to say you need that time to get to know with someone, to see who they really are. So if I can't be with you face to face, you could be telling me anything, or I could be lying to you too. it goes both ways. So that would be very, again, a difficult thing for me is who else you talking to. And this is human nature for us when we are in a corner and we want to get out, or to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is who I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to be. And then when you get out of that situation, and this is for everyone, how many times have we changed?
Several.
Most of the time we don't. We go back to exactly what we did. So it's easy for someone, in my opinion, to be in jail and say, I can't wait to see. I'm going to be with you and I'm going to be the best man in the world. Not that everybody's lying when they say that, and not that they don't believe that could be true. But then you get out, you get your freedom. You've been locked up for how many years? 5, 10, 15 years. And you're going to be with this one person.
I don't know. So, Miss Asia, if you're still watching, I'm curious to know, like, how the topic came up in your life today, like how it was presented to you, and like was it a question or something that came up, as well, that we could try to answer for you while we're waiting on this phone call to come through. I'm just curious to know. It just makes me really nervous because I remember back in the day. Oh, how ironic! The call is coming through. Hold on, you guys. Let's see.
Hello. This is a prepaid debit call from Toronto. An inmate at the Madison Correctional Institution. This call is from a correctional facility.
So let's see. I apologize.
Thank you for using TTL.
Hello, T. How's it going?
Okay. Everything up and rolling?
Yes, so you are live on EOE Radio and TV right now. Yeah, so we were just talking, and I told everybody that you would be calling in because, we had questions about what goes on the inside. So me and my co-host, Miss Smiley's opinion about dating someone while incarcerated is kind of like, okay, if you knew them prior to them getting locked up, I can understand you being by their side and doing their bid with them. But if you didn't know them and you met them in prison, because there's all kind of dating sites like the little pen pal sites, write a prisoner, meet a prisoner, like all of these sites you can go on, right, to become somebody's pen pal. That's completely and totally different. So my first question to you is how often do you see, and be real, how often do you see men talking to several different women saying, oh, baby, I'm going to come home to you when I get out, selling them a dream? How often is that?
It's regular. It's normal.
It's normal?
If I breathing, it's normal.
But why is that normal? Like, why does that happen?
And this the part, I feel like, and this is my opinion, I feel like this call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored. I feel like men get, ostracized for that. However, it's a two-way street, because on that, like, even when you get on a website, you ain't the only person that this woman writing. Even like when you say, like, you can understand if it's somebody that you knew and you might be on your side. You still ain't the only person that she talking to, whether it's in jail. She talking to you while you in jail, and then she talking to this other nigga that she just met when she went to the corner store last night, that she gave her a number to.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't be, in life, man, we get caught up in tensions, but a person's intentions don't matter. If somebody tell you I'm gonna give you $50 for your rent, and somebody say, I got you, just call me tomorrow. It's not their intentions that's gonna put a roof over your head for the next 30 days. It's their actions, whether they do or they don't. I believe wholeheartedly that both parties might got good intentions, when you've been at honeymoon stage, and you know what I'm saying, like, however, both parties begin distracted, and they'll come home and be with this woman and be committed with her after she done accepted some collect calls, and came and seen him a couple times, ordered him a full box or two, and then when he don't come home and be with her, like, you got women tend to write niggas off like, oh y'all ain't shit. However, she was doing her in the midst of accepting these calls, in the midst of these visits, these food boxes, and etc. So a nigga might come home, spend some time with her, pay some of her bills and all of that. So now he feel like we even. In any relationship, you gonna get in it out of it what you put into it. Like if you go to the bank tomorrow Friday, a lot of people go get paid. You can't go put $10 in the bank Friday and then next Friday go get $1,000 out. So you want to invest 30% of you into this nigga in jail, and then you want 100% of him. That's unfair, and that ain't how life go on any level.
Okay, but there
I have a
are.
question. How many guys are...
Okay, Miss Molly's asking a question, so I have to relay it. She's not on speaker. What's your question?
My question is more, how many guys are intentionally, or not, there's not an exact number, but what percentage does he think in his mind that the guys in jail are intentionally, they're not going in talking to women with a sincere heart. They're really trying to get as many women as possible. Yeah.
Okay. So her question to you is, I mean, she understands your point, but she wants to know how many men do you think are intentionally just trying to use women? They're just trying to get women's numbers and stuff so they can be taken care of while they're incarcerated. Like they have no intentions at all of dealing with this woman when they come home. Like, does that happen often?
Yes, that happens often, for sure.
So women really need to safeguard themselves because we don't know. Like I hear you saying with the people that have the good intentions, but when you don't know someone and you're meeting them on these pen pal websites and stuff, you really don't know what their intentions are. And then there's these women that are out there giving their all, their heart, all of their money, and expecting that man to come home and be with them. You know what I mean? And then when they do come home, they may go to that woman when they first get out because they don't know where they're going to lay their head. And then they use that woman until they facilitate, you know what I'm saying, some other foundation. Like that's why it's so scary, I think, to date someone that is incarcerated, because we talk about the 4 stages of relationships, and that's how if you got to have a solid relationship, and you can't do that like when someone's incarcerated, because that person's putting on their best self to be able to come home and be with this person to get whatever it is that they want. But there's a lot of people that do. I mean, it works for some people. It probably works from what we think, because it's probably a subject that people don't want to talk about. I had a friend on Facebook who was talking about her new boyfriend, and so everybody wanted to know, like, who's your new boo? Who's your new boo? So when she finally posted a picture of him in his prison get up and everything, everybody gets on there and they're talking stuff. Oh, you're stupid for dating someone that's in prison. He's just using you for food boxes, commissary visits, someone, to ride with. And she was highly offended, about that. But she's like, I love him and I'm in love with him. And she fell in love with him. She met him while he was in prison, like through like a friend, called, or whatever the situation is. I'm not saying it won't work, but I was just curious to know, like, how often do you hear men in there intentionally trying to neglect women out here on the outside because they don't have their ducks in a row and they're just trying to get stuff lined up for when they get out? Or a common phrase, and it's kind of a vulgar phrase.
Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
The common phrase, and again, it's a vulgar phrase, is they just trying to get they out the dirt. They little out the dirt when they get home because they've been locked up for so long and they ain't had sex. So that's what they're trying to do. So I don't know. Would you start trying to date somebody while you were locked up that you didn't know before you went in?
Yes, I would.
You would. And you wouldn't have an issue with not knowing this person, not knowing, what they're out here doing or anything.
I mean, we all gonna have those issues, like whether you free or in jail. Like I believe that's always gonna be an issue. I've been through it before. I've been locked up 20 something years, almost a quarter of a century, like in real life. So I've been through meeting people and so that's why I had the perception that I have. And you know, um, being who I was on the streets, I wasn't shit to women on the streets. Um, so reflecting and seeing who really be in my corner, throughout my bed, it made me, it changed my perception of women. It made me respect women more. So everybody ain't me though, and I had to grow up. So you can't. A woman always think that they can change a man, whether he in jail or whether they meet him on the streets, because some of the same issues that I believe, if not more, that women run into men in jail. I think that they run into them same issues on the streets, but more because of they thinking that they can change a man. Like I don't care how good you can cook, how fat your ass is, how fat your pussy is. Like that ain't gonna keep him. Like if he don't want to be there, he don't want to be there. So it's not about none of that. It's not about nothing superficial. Like I said, I don't care what you look like because it ain't what's on you. It's what's inside us. Like and then until y'all can make that connection. If two people don't have that connection, then it's just not gonna work. Whether you in jail and you meet somebody from the street, meet somebody in jail, or in real life, because like you just talked to me about your friend that she was telling everybody that she was in love with, and until she posted the picture, then everybody had them negative comments to say. Like the people that was making the comments, they probably wasn't even happy, but they had a man at home, but they weren't happy. They sleeping in two different rooms, or they might be sleeping in the same bed, but still ain't happy. So she was more happy than them.
Right, right. So one of our viewers said we need women who are for these types of relationships just because they are serving time. Why must they not receive love? And that's true. Like I totally agree. My take on it is I'm not saying it can't happen because it happens all the time, because there are lots of people, men and women, that meet people that are incarcerated through different avenues, and they end up having, like Miss Smiley said earlier, she was it 30 years that your friends have been together?
35, something like that.
35 years. Her friend met her husband while he was incarcerated, and they've been married for 35 years. So it can work. It just it just seems like it would be hard. And then Asia also asked, would an open relationship make it easier or harder to maintain? I think an open relationship is always easier because two people have the understanding. Listen, we're together, we love each other, but you're allowed to do whatever it is you want to do, and I'm allowed to do whatever it is I want to do. So there's no confusion. You know what I mean? As long as there's boundaries and you guys talk about what's allowed and what's not allowed, I think always an open relationship is easier than a closed relationship. Because if my expectation is for you only to be with me, that's my expectation, whether you're out on the street or whether you're incarcerated. So if we're in a close relationship and my expectation of you is to just be with me, and you're in jail talking to other women, and I don't care if it's for money. I don't care if it was 1 week I couldn't put money on the phone, or 1 week I couldn't send you a box to put commissary on your books. If you are engaging another woman, that's cheating. That's going to be hurtful. Like, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to feel like, well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for you and holding you down, and you frolicking about with all these other women. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a problem. So yeah, Asia, my opinion is if they're
But
in an
it
open
still comes down to,
relationship, what does it come down to, Miss Molly? I didn't hear you. What you said, Miss Molly?
I'm sorry, it still comes down to getting to know that person. Those, you still need those 4 steps of the, the stages of the relationship, because if I don't trust you, and I think that's what's harder, is when you're in prison. For me, it would be, how can I trust you? I'm not with you. I can't see you. It's already hard enough to trust people that is in your face. So again, and I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying you still have to be able to know that person to see if you trust what they're saying, if you trust who they are. I was just reading this comment. We have plenty of people fairly locked up. Says that when a man gets out of prison after being locked up for so long, he has that woman
So
wait for.
one of our
Sorry.
and that's actually a family member of mine, says, we have plenty of family members locked up. What I can say is that when a man gets out of prison after being locked up for so long, yes, he has that one waiting for him when he gets home. But and then hold on, let's see if there's another comment. Um, Trust of the structure for short. Yeah, you have to trust the structure.
You have
Yeah.
to.
You have to have a lot of trust. You know what I mean? I just wish there wasn't. I think the reason why men that are incarcerated have a hard time finding love. I'll wait till the message goes off. It does this every so often. Is because there are so many men that are violating women's trust and using them just to get what they can and selling them a dream. And then when they come home, they're in the wind. And this woman's like, I invested all my time and energy and money into you, and you just played me, and you told me you was gonna be with me, then you end up with your baby mama or one of your exes. So I think that's why it's really hard for a lot of men and women that are locked up to have those strong, loving relationships, because there's so many people that are manipulating the pen pal system, and all of that. So that's just personally what I think. But so T, would you get married while you were locked up?
I would, as long as what I got is real, like the same reason that a person would get married on the street. Like you don't get married thinking that it's not gonna work out. I wouldn't get married for no artificial reason. Only reason I would get married is for love. So yeah, like I don't look at it, and I don't think that it's because I've been locked up for as long as I have. I don't look at when I engage in any kind of relationship, like if it's a friendship, if any bond that I have with anybody is genuine. The foundation is because I met a lot of friends that I still talk to for that dudes that from different cities, like you know what I'm saying, like dudes that I really, we really cool. Like we really got a real friendship. Like the relationship that we had with the people that we was in the sandbox with, the people that we was on the streets robbing and killing people with. Like I developed those type of relationships. So yeah. So if I get married, it's for authentic and genuine reasons. The same reason that a person would get married on the street. It's not for no food box.
Right. Okay.
Not for no business.
Right. So a viewer says, Miss Asia says, yeah, things don't always go as we plan for as long as we plan. And that is so true, because you could be planning for a lifetime with somebody and they just up and ghost you for no reason, without explanation, and you leaving you wonder like, okay, what just happened? Like
Right.
I don't
You might
understand how that happened, because I was investing everything into this person and I thought everything was going great. But one thing that I have learned throughout life is sometimes everything we want, we don't need, and it's not meant for us. And sometimes people are placed in our life for seasons,
just a short
for
amount. Yeah.
reasons. And we make the
People end up
forever
getting,
season, but the Lord said, no, it's for this season. You know what I mean?
yeah, people get
Um,
Keisha all the time.
yeah.
Sorry,
All the
sorry.
time.
Sorry.
All the time. All the time. Listen. And we got the definition down at the bottom. Like, that's, you know what?
I can help
He's
it.
probably like, what's going on? I have to explain that to him later. But
But
yeah.
I think like the person who was making a comment, it really does come down to, and like he was saying, trust. And even though he has a sincere heart, doesn't mean that everybody else does. So you have to take your time to develop and get to know that person. It's hard enough, like I said, knowing them on the outside, but trying to know someone that you're never going to really interact with on the outside, it's difficult. Possible. And I know it works. I know a couple people that it's worked for, but I still would caution everyone to really take your time before jumping into something.
All right, so we have another. Well, Miss Robin says, just to give an example, my cousin will be home in about 4 months. The female that he's talking to relocated her and her children to Georgia just so he can have a place to stay once he's released. And that's big. And my prayer for that woman is when your cousin comes home, he don't play her, because she done
Oh,
uprooted her and children's lives to a whole nother state. Oh, but he's already saying that he doesn't want to be. Oh, Jesus. He's already saying he doesn't want to be with her. See, this is what I'm saying. See, this is
see,
why it's so
no.
hard for people on the inside to have these healthy relationships, because of shit like this. Like, that's crazy. But that's the norm, right? That's what guys do. Guys probably and women, but you only know about the men. That's what y'all do, right?
Man, that's but I'm saying though, right? Like, because we don't really know the circumstances, we don't really know what happened, but we still casting judgment. Like, that's the hard part for real. Like, we don't know the schematics, we don't know the inner workings of their relationship. We just know we read the cover of the book. We haven't even read chapter 1 though, and we're not even going to be able to read that book.
That's true. That is true. We do not know the circumstances, but when someone is uprooting their children to a whole nother state, that woman's serious.
So Miss Smiley is saying she understands that we don't know the book, but when a woman is uprooting her and her whole children's lives, that woman is serious. So why can
She's
you not
serious.
be just as serious as she is, or serious enough to say, this is not what I want? Like, I don't want you to come to Georgia and your children. I'm not completely there yet. Slow down. Let's take it slow. Not necessarily in the relationship, but be honest with that woman, because there's children involved.
Now, Miss, the comment there says, but it might put her where she could be in the long run.
I know women that ain't gonna take no for an answer. Like, you can tell her that we're not gonna be together, but she gonna keep saying that we is. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't even know what happened. Like, that's the sad part of it.
Could be.
We can only
There are.
speculate, and we know that woman uprooted her whole family, that she's serious. But we don't know when, at what point that this man told her that this ain't that, I'm not gonna be with you. We don't know if it happened yesterday or it happened 15 months ago or 2 years ago. We can only assume.
Right.
But we know that
Sorry.
not
And
know,
he
just the baby mom can say like, no, we're not being together, and this nigga will kill her before he leaves, or vice versa. The roles can be reversed. So we don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying about the book. We just read the cover.
Right, that's true. Robin says yes, she's seriously out of her mind. Now, Robin, did they meet while they were locked up, or did she know him before she went in? Because I'm curious to know that. Because here's my thing again, like if I know you, I mean, it would be hard for me to, especially when children are involved. Like children are a
Yes.
slippery slope. Like you don't want to get your, child involved. Like I seen I seen this person. I'm not gonna call him out on Facebook. They're dating someone that's locked up or whatever, and they have been going to see this individual for quite some time. And he's saying, when I get out, I'm coming home to you, Ma. I love you. I'm gonna marry you. And then the next visit, her kids are in the picture. So she done took her kids there. Her kids is in the picture, and she's telling the kids this is your new dad and all of this, whatever. No, I think I think that's wrong. I think that she should have waited until he
Wait.
got home and then seen if it was real before she got her that. Because when you get your child involved and your child's
I agree.
feeling gets hurt, that's a whole nother gorilla. You was already in prison. Now I'm about to be in prison because you don't hurt my baby. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I look good in orange, but I don't want to wear the orange jumpsuit. Like, it's not. She met him while
And
she met him while he
I
was in
want
prison.
to respond to Miss Asia, who had said, maybe
And
that,
she did what when he was in prison?
that's where she needs to be for that season. Go ahead.
She met him while they were in prison, so she didn't know him before going to prison.
Okay.
Yeah, and off of some
So,
prison dating site, she said. So
and those are harder than dealing with the females that we know prior to coming to prison, like because they don't be all in. They don't be all in. They be apprehensive. They be they had a
She
guard up,
all in if
and
she's moving her kids.
and in that period of time, they be doing things that aren't healthy for a relationship. And when you start off unhealthy, like it just ends unhealthy.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we can point fingers, we can blame the man, we can blame the woman. I said, but if you ain't in a healthy relationship, I'm not sure that you can ever make a relationship that wasn't healthy. Healthy.
True. I mean,
I want to say something to Miss Asia.
Go ahead, Mark.
okay. So go ahead. Miss Smiley is saying something. Go to Miss Asia. What are you saying?
No, she was saying that maybe, people are in your life for a season. I can't remember the exact comment. And I agree with that. Maybe that's where she is meant to be. All I'm saying in regards to that is if she was not serious, she probably wouldn't have done all of that in the first place. There it is. She might be in the long run. That's why people that is correct, and it may end up being a good thing for her. But my point in general is kind of like what he said too. Did maybe he told her, look, this ain't going to work. I don't know. But if he didn't say that and she uprooted her family and children to a whole nother state, I'm going to assume, I could be wrong, that woman's serious. There's no way I would move my child to another state if I didn't think the other person was serious.
Mhm.
So yes, it may work out with her in the long run. However, that wasn't her intent because of false pretenses.
Mhm. So Robin says, listen, he has women in Jersey, Canada, Seattle. They send him money. They really do what he asks of them. So T, is that your story? Do you have women all over the area codes in the states just sending you money and stuff?
No, I do not. Like,
He pleading the fifth. He don't want to get dumped. Like,
nah, it ain't that though. Like, you know, I really feel like I take care of myself. Like, I'm from a different breed now, which are what's going on out there. Like, I mean, I'm in here with these dudes, and I be hearing like they be coming to jail that they can't buy a pair of shoes, they can't go to commissary. Like, what was y'all just out there doing? You know, I get active. Like, I get it by any means necessary. Like, I don't care what come with it. I don't care about the consequences. Like, mine know who I am, and like, and y'all from the same place I'm from, so y'all understand me. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't have women that take care of me. Like I wasn't like that on the streets. Like, I'm independent. I might need some help every now and then.
mhm.
But no, I don't have women in different area codes like ludicrous. Like, nah.
Okay, yeah, you better not, cause you need something. Don't be us selling no dreams to these women's hurting these women's feelings out here. You just call me, and I got you. Seriously, somebody gonna try to mail you anthrax in there or something.
Right, you're stupid.
The sisters or so.
I'm saying, like seriously, but I don't know. It's just a hard thing. But we had lots of. It's crazy because there are lots of people that are in jail relationships or wanting to get into jail relationships, but a lot of people don't talk about it because of that pushback that my friend got. Like she was really hurt. Like she wrote she snapped and she like, yo, look, this who I'm with. I don't care what y'all talking about. He loves me. Y'all saying he's selling me a dream. I don't feel that way, and this who I'm going to be with when he come home. So.
And when it comes down to it, that is going to be
that. Thank you for having me on your show. I want to thank everybody who tuned in, who listened to my comments, theirs, and I appreciate it.
All right, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. And then if we do a follow-up show, I'm gonna reach out to you because you gave us some really good feedback, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get questions after the fact, and they're gonna be questions that we can't answer, and we're gonna need an insight take on this. You know what I mean? So let your friends in there know too that they might need to be part of the show too. Like bring everybody to the floor. And may be recorded and monitored. And Asia says thanks. She thanked you. So I appreciate you. You have a good night. I love you, and I will talk to you later.
I love you too, and thank you for using GTL.
Okay. He's hung up. All right. So I'm glad we was able to get him.
What I will say,
on the line.
Yes, that was wonderful. I do agree with what your friend was saying as far as, if someone's going to do that and be with someone, the last thing you want to do is beat someone up about it. Because there's plenty of things that we all have done. That was our decision. And regardless of what anybody said, we're going to do our decision and we're going to do what we say we're going to do regardless. But beating up someone is not the way to go about it. And you don't know what's going to become of that. You want to be cautious and maybe, give some advice, but if they ain't asking for it, what you giving it for? Like I said, for me, I got married when I was 17 years old. I would not recommend that for everybody. I'm not saying for anyone to necessarily do that, but it did work for me for almost 30 years. So, and I had people telling me it was never going to work. We're too young, blah, 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 blah. But what happened? It worked just fine. So again, it's not something that I recommend, but beating someone out about their decision and their choices is never the way to go anyway, because you're really just going to push that person away. Even if they respected you and really was listening to what you had to say, it's about the way you go about it. And if you're beating someone up about it, it's not going to help. Not at all.
Not at all. I don't believe that it's going to help at all. Well, I mean, there it is, jail relationships. It's just, just use your better judgment. Caution, because if you were with them before they went, oh yeah, stand by your man, stand by your woman. If you feel like they worth it, ride with them, do that bid with them. I will tell you that it's exhausting. Dating someone that is incarcerated, you're incarcerated too. You may be out here feeling like you moving freely or whatever, but when that phone rings, you got to be there to answer that phone. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to stop because you got to pay them, give them your undivided attention. You know what I mean? Money. It takes lots of money. You think, oh, your electric, your rent, your this, your that. You're paying all these bills by yourself, but then you got those phone calls are not cheap. Those food boxes are not cheap. You know what I mean? Going back and forth to the jail or the prison to see them, it's not cheap. Those vending machines inside the prison and the jail, they are not cheap. Okay, a damn sandwich is $5.75 now. Listen, I'm trying. You make sure you incarcerated too, so make sure that you're built for that, because it takes a strong woman. Yeah, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Like, listen, I have so many family members that are incarcerated, and just with a friend and family member, like, it's levels to that. Like, okay, you can only get so much money, out of me
Right.
being just a family member or friend. But your loved one, my brother was just incarcerated, and I had went back one time through my bank statement to see, just on phone calls, and this is real talk, like, and I got the receipts, just on phone calls in 1 year, because he did his whole bid on the phone, $5,700 for 1 year phone calls. You do the math, he was locked up for 5. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's not the gas to go back and forth to the business because it's out of town, the boxes and all that. Oh, can you help my homie out? Because then they made friends and they got a friend in there that don't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? Messages on JPay. Then they want to do the video visit because they done got in trouble and you can't come to the prison or whatever. Them is $10 of it. No, it is hard. Yes, I love my
This
brother
is
is
a
my baby,
marketing
and when I tell
racket.
you, yeah, when I tell you, I held my bro down, and with a man or woman, you gonna go even harder. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
every phone call you have to be there. You know what I'm saying? And because they're going through something, they're locked up, and they do change. Like you said, when your friend's husband came out, he was a different person. Yeah, it's you lose yourself, part of yourself. So you're dealing with someone that you don't even know, and they're not even the same person that they were before they went in. Even know who they are. It's really going to be hard for you
Right.
to find out and learn who they are, and you haven't, and you cannot really go through the stages of a relationship with that person. So I just move forward, because like Asia said, they deserve to be loved too, but just move forward with caution. Use your better judgment. Like she said, follow your intuition. Don't pack up your kids and move to Georgia. No, until that man has come home and you know for sure that he just was not selling you a dream. You know what I mean? Because some men just need to get out. They need an address to be released to,
Mhm.
because no
Yep.
man or woman in prison can be released, even on their release date in the state of Ohio, without an
Yeah.
address to go to and someone that says, I'm going to
Embrace. Yeah.
be there. You know what I mean? Just imagine your husband locked up for 15. And I know how much money you spend, and I know how hard you go for your brother. And I don't even want to calculate and tally up your funds, girl, because I probably throw up right and be sick. Like,
And
you
this
know
is
what I'm
on a
saying? Like,
whole nother level. This is something I never even thought about, like, like a jail relationship. This is even opening my eyes. But that, wow, just something I would have never thought about.
no, it is a lot. It's a lot. And then the worry. Like, you worry about your man and your woman on the street because anything can happen. But it's a hard, tough place. In prison, things happen all the time. Not only do you have to worry about another inmate doing something to him, you got to worry about the crooked COs doing something to him,
Mhm.
and everything that you could get in off the street, you can get in prison. They getting high in prison. They got cell phones and all kinds of.
Phone. Yeah.
Nothing stops. Nothing stops. Like that's why you hear all the stories about the COs and snuck drugs in and all this that happened. They're not 100% safe in there either. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? So you have to worry about them. It's really hard having a relationship with someone that's incarcerated. So I would say proceed with caution. I don't feel
Definitely.
like men and women that are incarcerated should be cut off. They do deserve love too.
Agree.
Um, T said he would
But
get married while in prison. That I would not do. Like, that's just me. I don't want to get married on the video. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't want to go in. But then again, going into the prison and having the wedding there in the little chapel, honestly, is no different than somebody going to the justice of the peace.
that's
You
true
know what
because
I
I
mean?
did just.
Yeah, she said every day he gets high. Yes, they get high
No.
in prison.
Yeah.
Lit- No, it goes down in prison. It goes down in prison. So they got access to everything just like we do out here on the streets. So jail relationships. If you guys want to have a jail relationship, move with caution. No, it's not
Yeah.
easy. It's not easy to do. We are going to take a really quick break because we don't have that much time left, but we want to hit on another highly requested or second requested topic for a love affair, and that's how to end a relationship. And since we are speaking about jail relationships, like I said in the beginning of the show, Monica goes hard for C Murder. She loves that man. Locked up 2009 to 2022. He's serving life. She even made a song for him. It is called Everything to Me. So we're going to listen to this song and we will be right back. And we are back. That was Monica, Everything to Me. And it's alleged she wrote that song for her incarcerated love, See Murder. It's a beautiful song. Very good love ballad. I love it. Love it. And we're going to end this segment and talk uh, fairly briefly on how to properly end a relationship. So, how would you end a relationship, Miss Smiley?
You know, my rule in my mind is to treat people the way you want to be treated. So for me, if I would want someone, even though it hurt, I would prefer someone just to say, look, this is not working. And, I just don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Yes, that would hurt. Very much so. But I would much rather someone say that to me than lead me on for forever knowing it wasn't going to work. So I would do the same to someone else. Like, look, I know this is difficult, but this is just not working for me. And I'm really sorry, but it would have to be a face-to-face. This is not a text message type of deal. Um, Ghosting, in my opinion, is very childish and immature. If you just met someone a couple weeks ago and talking real, that's not a big deal to me. You get ghosted, whatever. But when you're in an actual relationship with someone, ghosting is stupid, in my opinion. And just be upfront and honest. And you're going to get a lot more respect, I think, in the long run when you do that. Just that's how I would end it, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree. I think that's how you should maturely um, end a relationship. But there's steps to it, and the steps are to ending the relationship. These are the proper steps to take, viewers, on how to end a relationship. Okay. So Asia wants to know all relationships are just dating and sexual. All of them. All of them. I mean, listen, if you my jump off, I still feel like you should follow these steps. Um, because a lot of people don't know if someone is just having sex with them. They can feel like they're in a full-fledged relationship. We talk about like they missed a step, like you know what I mean? Because some
Well, I
people
think
think
she's
that they're in a
asking if
commitment.
this friendships as well. I think is what she was asking. Are you talking? Is this how you end it if you're dating and having sex with someone, or you mean all relationships? Like,
She said, I meant like
you said
food.
with food. You know what? You out of here. Get out of here.
What do
I'm
you
done.
mean? You mean like food?
That was good.
What,
With food.
what all relationships?
Well, you might need to talk to your food and say, I can't do you anymore. You're unhealthy for me. Get out of my life. Bye. I'm throwing
No,
you in the trash.
you have to prepare to end your relationship with food, and you got to pick the right spot. Be at home, okay? In
Don't be
your
at the
room away from the
restaurant.
refrigerator. Yeah, don't be at the restaurant. Be at home in your room away from the refrigerator or something. And say to the person, just tell yourself today I end this relationship with you, food, and be respectful. Like Asia, Lord.
Make it clean. Break it. Stick with your decision.
Stick with your decision. If you on keto, don't have no chocolate, don't have no rice, don't have no pasta. Stick with your decision. You said you was doing keto. You know you can't have those things on keto. I'm just, just saying. But no, all jokes aside, these are.
But to be honest, though, this really should be for all relationships. I mean, not that it necessarily happens that way, but if someone was my friend and they didn't want to be my friend anymore, instead of just saying something, maybe there's a misunderstanding. And if she or he said, hey, I think I need to distance myself because of this, and that, at least I can say, oh, no, that's not what happened. Kind of explain it. So it really would go for all relationships, but some you just need to cut loose and be done.
Asia said sounds easy, but very hard for a lot. You don't know how hard. Are you saying that it's hard for people to end it or accept it that it ends? Because maybe.
Well, regardless, it's hard. That is hard to do. To sit and face to face with someone and say you don't want to be with them anymore. That's difficult, no matter what. Even if you're saying that over the phone, it's difficult. So, regardless, it is hard. But would you want someone to do that to you, or would you want someone just to ghost you? I'd rather someone talk to me face to face.
Yeah, but that's what the preparation is for. When you prepare, you got to think about what you're going to say in advance.
Yeah.
You may even want to practice on a friend or in front of a mirror or write down your thoughts. So, I'll call you like Miss Smiley. Okay, I gotta, what I'm saying, let this person go. So you're this person, I'm going. Okay, I don't think this is working. Like practice it, like prepare.
Yeah. It's the same as you're practicing an interview or anything else like that. You do need to practice so you can be prepared and to be able to stick with your decision. Because when you go in anywhere not prepared, anywhere, typically you're going to get all flustered and you're not going to stick with your decision no matter what we're talking about, not just relationships, in anything.
Right.
So, yeah.
So prepare, find out what you're going to say, pick the right spot, talk to your partner. This is going to soon be your ex-partner.
Police station
somewhere where
I'm joking.
But listen, it has to be somewhere that's comfortable for the both of you, because you don't want it just to be you that's, comfortable. And if you're worried about safety, somewhere in public might be your best choice. Okay, if you're worried about safety, prepare that conversation. Pick a safe spot. Be respectful. Be respectful. Because I was watching a show last night, and the woman asked her husband, like, well, why you don't want to be with me no more? He was like, because you gain weight, you're fat. I would knock his teeth out. Be respectful. Like, seriously. Like, if you feel that way, you don't have to be mean on the exit. Yeah. You don't have to be like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Did we skip say it in person? We did. Say it in person and be respectful. Don't send me no text message. Don't send me no email. Don't send me no Facebook Messenger. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me. Don't call me and tell me. I think that's disrespectful too. Like, be a woman or a man and tell me to my face. And be respectful when you're telling me and explain to me what is going on, so that way I can understand it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get a clear understanding, because when you don't give somebody resolution, they have those lingering thoughts. Like, and I think that's why a lot of people don't accept the end of the relationship, because they haven't fully gotten an explanation to give them closure. You know what I'm saying? Say it in person, say it respectfully, give that person closure. Make a clean break. If you really want to be friends, that's fine. Some people don't know how to be friends after the fact, but if you can decide that you want to be friends, that's fine. But if you're saying let's just be friends to your partner to let them down easy, don't do that. Don't lie to them. Don't be honest with yourself. Be honest with them. If you have no intentions of being their friend after the relationship, then say that. You know what I mean? Just really be honest. Just as true. Stay grounded. Yes, definitely stay grounded. You want to stand your ground. And decision. If you feel like you're doing the right thing, don't let your partner try to convince you that you're not. Don't let them gaslight you. You know what I'm saying? And don't feel guilty about it. You know,
Right.
if you
Definitely.
if you really feel like this is the end, um, and just one piece of relationship advice I have: don't start a relationship with a friend. And I know people say that it's crazy, like, oh, well, because when you end up in a relationship with someone, they become your friend. You have this friendship. I just think there's a greater risk having a relationship with a friend, because if it doesn't work, you're losing twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's double hard. It's like a double sword, edged sword. So not only are you losing the relationship, you're also losing a friendship, and that is a very, very hard thing. Start that off there. So, just my opinion. What do you
I
think about
got
that,
you.
Miss Smiley? What do you think?
I do agree with the steps, and I know that sounds like a lot. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, but true do to you. That's no name calling, no this, no that. Just say what you got to say, and because I would want closure too, like what happened, or why is this? You would want that too. Most guys would. Some guys were like, I don't care. But if you're really serious about somebody, you would want to know what you did, or maybe you didn't do anything, but if you did, you could be like, okay, well, that's going to help me in my next relationship, and that type
Right.
of thing. So I do agree. As far as the friends are concerned, I don't know. I haven't had that situation before. I can see what you're saying, though, is, if you're friends, would this ruin it? Sometimes I've heard of people it did and other people it didn't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have not been in that situation before. But I think it just comes down to being respectful to yourself and to the other person as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's just my opinion, y'all.
And
I'm not a relationship expert. I'm just telling y'all from experience. I just, lesson learned. Um, and then we just gonna leave that where it lie. But yeah. So I want to thank everyone that watched the show. Thank T again for calling in. That was great, and I
yes,
actually will invite him back to a future show and see if there's some other individuals that would like to give their feedback, because again, this was like the most requested topic: jail relationships. And then the second was how to successfully end a relationship. Um, so just if you're going to deal with someone that's in prison or in jail, if you knew them before the incarceration, it's a little easier to navigate and know exactly where you all stand. But if you had not had a prior relationship with them and you're meeting them from a friend of a friend or a cousin or family member through pen pals, write an inmate or something like that, you have no way to efficiently go through the 4 stages of that relationship. So that is going to be hard. So just use your intuition, ladies and men. Don't make any big changes like some of our viewers said that their friends did. Don't uproot your children your whole life for this person haven't known for that long, and don't bring your kids into that relationship until that it's solid, because like our inmate caller said, there's a lot of men, and this is just a man's standpoint, in there selling women dreams or talking to multiple women, you know what I mean, and but his reasoning was not use them for money. It was just because they don't know, like, what's going on. um they're having trust issues as well, because they feel like out on the street they don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? They don't know if you're real or if you're sleeping with another man or woman or whatever it is you're doing. So they're trying to safeguard themselves. So there are some that aren't intentionally using you and talking to other women just to be malicious. They're just trying to protect themselves because, again, they don't know what your intentions are, because just like you don't know what theirs is, they're people too. They have feelings, and that's what it is. And they have trust issues. But please send us your show requests and questions. You can send them to Miss Smiley or myself individually on Facebook. You can send them to the EOE Radio and TV Facebook page, or you can leave comments on our YouTube channel. Thanks, Asia. This was great. I appreciate you. I appreciate Robin, everybody that tuned in. And we will be back sometime next week with episode 4 of A Love Affair. Good night, everyone.